East Tennessee firefighters are helping control wildfires out west. Hundreds of thousands of acres continue to burn in California in 9 different fires. 3 of the biggest are the Mendocino Complex, the Carr, and the Ferguson fire. That's in Yosemite National Park. Fires of this size require help from all over the country. Brooke Smith is one of the thousands of people working to put out the flames. Smith is in the area. He's the area forester in Knox, Anderson, and Sevier counties right here in Tennessee.
We throw down tents in the grass and we wake up and we go fight fire, and then we go back to bed. I usually work about 15 hours a day.
Smith traveled to the Ferguson fire in California to work as a public information officer. Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, how she compares her stay in California to the Sevier County wildfire she helped fight back in 2016.